love to know what you wanted to get out of the question and why you feel it's so important to focus on the origins of this investigation and to bring that point home.
You know, my question did not identify anyone as a whistleblower or refer to anyone as a whistleblower, but my question did discuss two Obama partisans who worked in the National Security Council. One of them now works for Adam Schiff, and one of them is someone who is involved in the origins of the impeachment inquiry. So these two people have been friends for a long time. There are stories and reports now that they, a few years ago, were overheard saying, you know what, we got to do everything we can to bring down the president, to take down the president. And lo and behold, these two friends are still intimately involved, and the story even thickens from there. There are three people working for Adam Schiff's staff who used to work for the National Security Staff. They know this third gentleman. They all know Vindman. You know, Vindman's been very prominent in the testimony, and Vindman's brother. So we actually have six people who were Obama partisans who work for the National Security Council, who all are transmitting stuff back and forth. And my question is, did they have discussions predating the official impeachment inquiry? Maybe predating even by a year or two. We know that Adam Schiff was dishonest when he said there was no contact. It turns out they did have contact in the days and weeks leading up to the impeachment inquiry, but it may well be that they had contact even a year or two before, and I think people ought to be able to discuss that. So I was disappointed that question was shut down.
Well, I think that, you know, the question of the origin of this investigation, just like the questions of the origin of the Russia investigation, are certainly valid questions to ask. One of the problems I think that's frustrating for people watching all of this is that there's really no quorum here. There's no cross-examination. I mean, you know, even if your question had been asked, you know, what would be the best you could have hoped for in terms of what would happen when Adam Schiff got up and tried to answer it?
Well, Adam Schiff's not really answering questions. So you would actually have to have him in a deposition under oath. And that's why if people want to have witnesses, Adam Schiff's got to be a witness. But so is Sean Misko, who's on his staff, and maybe several other people on his staff, because they need to be asked, were they coaching and helping this complaint, not only in the days preceding the impeachment complaint, but maybe even weeks and months before? Were they simply looking and waiting for some kind of bit of evidence that they could create and craft into an impeachment complaint? And that's not the way the whistleblower statute was meant to be. It wasn't meant to be some sort of blanket immunity from knowledge. But one of the telling questions, you know, we've had hundreds of hours of testimony now, but Senator Burr asked today, he said, well, would it be impeachable to hire a foreign spy from Britain to get a dossier on someone like what happened to President Trump? Because they're now saying a lot of things are impeachable, and that's the problem with having this low level or low standard for impeachment, is that, you know, I had a lot of policy disagreements with President Obama, but I didn't call to impeach him. And that's the problem, is if we lower the standard and dumb it down, everybody's going to impeach everybody, and it's going to be a disaster for our country.
All right, but there are other ways, and the name that you